The Unlikely Friends. In the sleepy town of Oak Grove, where autumn leaves painted the streets in shades of amber and gold, two souls existed in entirely separate orbits. Sarah Mitchell, the introspective librarian who found solace in the whispers of ancient pages, and Jake Thompson, the golden boy of Oak Grove High, whose infectious laughter could be heard echoing through the school hallways. Sarah's world was a carefully curated sanctuary of leather-bound classics and first editions, arranged in perfect order within the century-old library building. Her delicate fingers would trace the spines of books as she walked the aisles, finding more comfort in the company of Austen and Dickens than in the bustling social circles of their small town. Her copper-colored hair was always tied back in a neat bun, her wire-rimmed glasses perched precisely on her nose, and her cardigans chosen in muted colors that helped her blend into the background, exactly where she preferred to be. Jake, in contrast, commanded attention wherever he went. As the star quarterback who had led the Oak Grove Ravens to 3 consecutive state championships, he was the town's pride and joy. His athletic build and easy charm made him the subject of countless admirations. Yet few noticed the subtle strain in his smile when praised for nothing more than his spiral throw or touchdown record. Beneath the varsity jacket and confident exterior lay a young man yearning to be known for more than just his athletic prowess. Their worlds might never have intersected if not for that fateful October afternoon in Memorial Park. Sarah was taking her usual lunch break walk, a worn copy of The Secret Garden tucked under her arm, when she heard the commotion. Around the corner, behind the old gazebo where summer concerts were held, 3 former football players from the rival school had cornered Jake. They were bigger, older, and fueled by the bitterness of past defeats. "Not so tough without your team, are you, Thompson?" one sneered, shoving Jake against the gazebo's wooden lattice. The sound of splintering wood cracked through the air. Sarah's heart hammered against her ribs as she witnessed Jake, for the first time in his life, looking small. But it wasn't fear that made her step forward. It was the recognition of something in his eyes that she knew all too well, the pain of being judged by a single facet of who you are. "Stop!" Her voice rang out with an authority that surprised even her, steady and clear as a bell. "I've already called the police, and I have you all on video." She held up her phone, bluffing masterfully, her hand trembling but her gaze unwavering. "Would you like to explain to them why 3 college dropouts are assaulting a high school student?" The bullies hesitated, their bravado cracking under the weight of potential consequences. Sarah's reputation as the serious, rule-abiding librarian lent credibility to her threat. Within moments, they retreated, muttering threats that grew hollow with each backward step. In the aftermath, Jake stared at Sarah as if seeing her for the first time. "That was incredible," he managed, touching a small cut on his cheek. "But you didn't really call the police, did you?" "I don't even have my phone with me," Sarah admitted, allowing herself a small smile as she pulled out a handkerchief and offered it to him. "It's in my desk at the library next to my lunch." That moment of shared vulnerability, of seeing past their carefully constructed facades, sparked something neither of them expected. Over the next few weeks, Jake began spending his free periods in the library, allegedly to work on his college applications. Sarah found herself looking forward to his visits, to the way he would pull up a chair at her desk and ask her opinion on everything from Shakespeare to current events. Their friendship blossomed in the quiet corners of the library and expanded beyond its walls. Jake introduced Sarah to the exhilaration of Friday night football games, where she discovered the poetry and motion of a well-executed play. Sarah shared her passion for classical music, teaching Jake to appreciate the complexity of Bach and the romance of Tchaikovsky. Together, they started a reading program for kids at the local community center, combining Jake's natural ability to connect with children and Sarah's vast knowledge of literature. The town buzzed with whispers about their unlikely friendship. Some questioned Jake's motives, others wondered if Sarah was trying to change herself to fit into his world. But those who looked closer saw something remarkable unfolding. two people helping each other become more fully themselves. Sarah's confidence grew like a flower reaching for the sun. She began speaking at library events, her natural eloquence drawing crowds that surprised even the board of trustees. She kept her love of books and quiet moments, but learned to voice her opinions with conviction. Her wardrobe expanded to include colors that matched her emerging vibrancy, though she still favored her cardigans, now worn like armor rather than camouflage. Jake's transformation was equally profound. His grades improved dramatically, and he began to share his own writing with Sarah, poems and short stories that revealed a depth of thought that astonished her. When he was offered football scholarships to several prestigious universities, he chose one based on its English program rather than its athletic ranking. His teammates were surprised to find him quoting Milton during practice, but they couldn't argue with the results as his leadership style evolved to embrace both strength and empathy. Their friendship became a beacon in Oak Grove, a testament to the power of looking beyond surface impressions. During their senior year, they co-authored a column in the local newspaper about breaking social barriers and finding authenticity in unexpected places. The column became so popular that it was syndicated to other small-town papers across the state. Years later, when people would ask Sarah and Jake about how their friendship began, they would share a knowing look before telling the story of that day in the park. But they would always add that the real story wasn't about a rescue or a moment of bravery. It was about two people who had the courage to see each other clearly and, in doing so, learn to see themselves better too. Sarah went on to revolutionize the town's library system, creating programs that bridged social divides and turned the library into a true community center. Jake became an English teacher and football coach, showing a new generation that they didn't have to choose between being athletes and intellectuals. Their unlikely friendship had not only changed them, but had begun to change their small town as well, proving that the most powerful transformations often begin with a single moment of genuine connection.